Hey, Alex. Hello, Crazy Wolf. Welcome to the stream. Hey, Armus. Oh, I just realized I have the Bible next to Becky. There we go. Yeah, the event was just like, Rathalos got away. Oh, are we gonna do anything about it? No. They're like, nah, it'll be fine. And it's funny because Rathalos in the event literally sets everything on fire. So you're just sitting there going like, this is fine. Boy, I sure hope Rathalos is okay. What's Red's opinion on more erotic versions of war? She's probably not against it, but she would not do it herself. And technically, she has no means of doing that, at least not on her own. Of course, with the right stuff, you know, the whole Vorbar thing, making everything stretchy. There's probably the other kinds of Vor there as well. Although they're probably not as safe compared to just the normal way. I'm sure there will be characters that will have the natural ability to do that stuff, but if we're going by just characters that use substances in order to partake in Vor, they're more likely to do it the normal way. Although, luckily, since they're at the bar that creates clones and all that, and the clones have a specific time limit, it's probably not as dangerous as I'm making it sound, because the clones will eventually just, turn into protein, so they just turn into a goo. So let's just say hypothetically someone did um, anovore, and normally once their elasticity wears off, that would become a huge problem. But due to both the elasticity lasting a specific amount of time and the clones lasting a specific amount of time, by the time it would become a problem, they just turn into goo, and it's more like, okay, everything's just kind of slipping out type of thing. But Red's not into that. She just prefers to eat her piggies. But she probably wouldn't mind it though, like watching, but she wouldn't do it herself. Like, you'd have to really convince her to do something like that. Maybe get her drunk enough and she might do it. She's like, hey, I'm gonna cram this pig up my ass. And it was like, I bet you can't do it. It's like, bitch. Yeah, for traditionalists. That'd be funny. Like, I could, like, there could be a scene where Joanne is looking around the bar and seeing somebody doing anal war, and I don't know. She'll ask Red if she's ever done that, and have like the camera go to Red with like a embarrassed look on her face, and she'll probably just say only once or something like that, with no context. So like maybe later in the future, if I ever do a side comic about it, it'll just be Red getting drunk off her ass and then shoving a piggy up her ass. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas right now. But yeah, normally no. And we can do rounder than that. Is that big enough? I feel like it's too high. That feels like it's too low. That should be alright for what I need it for. But yeah, there's plenty of other characters to do that kind of thing if we need it. Which is, I mean, it's probably going to be likely, because I mean, there's going to be, because those are like themes that I've ventured into. Like a good one are the ones done by James Howard. As for Unbirthing, the best ones I've seen was from Duo Radon. So yes, I am very familiar with those. Just a matter of picking the right character for it. One final question for Red for now. Is it hard to go back to regular food after boring, or do they satisfy two different purposes? At this point, she's technically hasn't done it for work. She purely does it for her own pleasure because she likes doing it. Still working on this, but I was debating on basically making it so that she used to do vor like the normal way, like without clones and all that, but of course that shit's illegal. So it wasn't like she could always just do it without causing suspicion and, you know, missing people and stuff like that. Until the bar became a thing, and then she got to indulge a lot, which is why she has such a big pooch belly. But yeah, I would say in some cases it's likely difficult to go back to just eating normally because you've done something so specific. But as long as she like doesn't get too addicted to doing that and just, you know, spreads it out, then she can behave normally. But if she goes and does it, you know, becomes an addict like other people would likely, like the story I was thinking about of the guy who ended up eating like his a person that he admired, even though that person knew nothing about him because they just sold their DNA for money or whatever. There could be cases like that. So she has like a mild addiction, but she can kind of like keep it under check. But she definitely goes to the bar at least. I don't know. I want to say 2 times a month, because obviously if she did too much, then she'd be a lot bigger. But she does it enough where she's clearly thick in certain areas. Vorficiata. Vonosaur. Exactly. But yeah, she does it enough where she's not gonna stop going back to the bar, but she does it sparingly enough to keep her weight under check. But she definitely likes it. But if we're comparing like the clones to like an actual person, she will say there's a difference that she can tell at least, which is why the doctor usually does pays her for tests and stuff like that, so that way she can make her clones more closer to the real deal. But yeah, like I would say if she had to like put out a number right now of how close the clones are, she'll probably say they're like 80, like maybe 88% close to the real thing. And this is just testing with like normal pigs and all that. And obviously, if we were trying to test a person, she would have to eat the actual person to be able to tell you if there is a difference. So this is only done with like wildlife or you know, like farm animals. Unless we get weird with it and she like eats a snake, but then I could make it weird where she eats the person, then coughs them back out, and then eats the clone. Like we could get weird and do it that way. There are digesting drugs, but they're not that rapid. They're just rapid enough to be a little bit faster, but it's still going to take some time to actually digest everything. Like it's not going to be drink this and you're going to be you'll be fully digested in the next like minute or so. Like I would still say it would take a few hours, but it would definitely be faster to take it than to do it normally. Because if you don't take it, then it's going to be very well. It'll probably be noticeable anyway, but it would be even more noticeable if they didn't. Scott Calico does really fun stuff. But yeah, everything they do at the War Bar is like a lot more abnormal. It's not just. I mean, there could be areas where the person just wants to laze around, and be like, nah, I want to digest this normally, and they could pay the bar for like a private room or something where they can nap. But if they want to get out of there normally, then they just pay for the drug to digest faster, and then just make their way out, or wait a few minutes and then start making their way out. Whatever works, honestly. But yeah, that bar is getting money. But yeah, it's basically going to be something similar to how Joanne is going to go about her career, is where she's going to need something to be like, once she finds out how popular her video with Eating Tim is, then she's going to have to figure something out in order to keep that consistent. Because she can, like, if she's going to eat people normally, then that's like a whole thing on its own. If she's gonna use clones for her gimmick, then there's that. But then she's also gonna need the elasticity serum if she's gonna like step things up. But if she wants something more permanent, then she's probably gonna have to make a deal with the doctor or something in order to make that a thing. Especially since there's artwork of her being much larger in the future. Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why you see the panel of Big D calling about 100 bunnies, which, to be fair, the original plan for that was just 100 normal bunny characters, but the clones makes way more sense if we're doing that. And the clones are illegal, technically, anyway, so, again, that makes more sense, because Big D works in the underground, or is involved with the underground. So yeah, it's more about keeping things consistent. And it just makes sense that, you know, Joanne would submit herself to being the doctor's guinea pig on a more permanent elasticity serum. I think one of the problems, though, is that she doesn't tell the doctor is that she also starts using like black love drugs as well to kind of, you know, hype her up and put her in the mood, which starts fucking with the experiment, because, you know, if you're not keeping track of whatever you do to your test subjects, then you don't know what the fuck's gonna happen when weird side effects start happening. So it's more like a combination of Joanne getting help and then like kind of messing with things on her own too. Clones are illegal in what sense? Basically, like, you know, if somebody is trying to like sabotage another person by, you know, like, let's just say they tried to kill the president, or they kidnapped the president and replaced him with a clone. So there's some situations like that, or even rich people. But then obviously there could be like more useful things, like, you know, oh, this person's dying, let's clone their body and put their mind into like another body. There's that. Like, there are helpful ways of it being used, but then you can see a little bit more negatives as well. And then there's like trafficking and stuff like that. But then that becomes its own question mark, where it's like, okay, are these real people though? What if the clones have like a freaking identity crisis and start trying to, you know, kill people or kill their originals or something? Like, there's a whole up and down with that. Yeah, like the Vorbar is definitely doing shit behind any regulations and stuff like that. That's why the doctor kind of does it, because one, she's already working for shady people anyway, because she works for um, Blake's sister. Why am I blanking? Ambrosia. She works for her, so she's able to get away with quite a bit of experiments that she probably wouldn't normally be able to. And the Vorbar is kind of like a side thing, so she can try to perfect it. Because the cloning thing also leads into, you know, what if Mr. Sinclair wanted to clone his wife? And that has crossed his mind multiple times, whether it be, you know, keeping her consciousness saved somewhere or cloning her. But then he's like trying to figure out if the clone would even have her memories, stuff like that. And then obviously you can't keep using raw material over and over and over because you're gonna run out at some point, which is why she uses farm animals for the most part, because you can just keep using those. But if you're using the Vorbar, she pays less fortunate people for their DNA so she can clone them, and she gives them like a payment. So then when they run out of material, they just let those people know, and then they can choose to come back and do it again and get more money and blah 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 blah. Like there's a whole its own ecosystem down there, or its own economy and all that. So lots of things, and Joanne is definitely in the position of less fortunate. And I could show like maybe Joanne tries to eat someone normally without the drugs and all that in order for her Vor career to start, but then she realizes how difficult that actually is without the drugs and all that, and that's when she's motivated to talk to the doctor. So it could be that could like make a better reason for her to try. I still want her to manage to do it because she's clearly done it with Tim, but she was also not in the right state of mind when she did it with Tim, so she doesn't quite remember what exactly she did to pull that off. So, lots of learning experiences. But she definitely develops a bit of a pleasure for when she eats one of the clones, and that's what makes her decide to go through with doing this as a career. So yeah, just a lot of filling in the blanks when it comes to how she does this. Yeah, because on her deathbed, she told Max that, you know, don't fall into despair without her. Like, you know, don't do something he'll regret when she passes. You know, don't go mad from it. And like, she was aware that he was trying to like find a way to cure her disease or her situation, and like even thought of ulterior methods, such as like Marcy Amber, her situation is very similar to Blake's foster mom situation, where Marcy as a child was basically suffering from the same issues, so they transferred her consciousness to a robot or to a machine body, and then that comes with its own complications, such as, you know, the character thinking that they need to eat or need to breathe or something, and they realize they don't do any of those things, or it's like, hey, do I dream anymore? type of thing. Or it's like, what if they don't dream? Then that could make them go crazy, because it's like they don't even sleep, it's just off and on. Or they just stay up the entire time, and that can cause its own issues, just being awake the entire time. Maybe not physically, but definitely mentally. If I wanted it to go into a dark direction, I could say that Marcy Amber goes a little crazy and, you know, kills her original body or something out of, like, just out of a psychotic break. But that's not the idea I have for her, so that's not going to happen. But you could see where I could go with that if I wanted to. But yeah, the reason why the Doctor basically gets the privilege to perform cloning is because Maximilian is funding the research. Maybe not entirely for himself, but definitely so that his situation doesn't happen again for others. Let's take a reception. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like he's trying to do what she told him, but losing her definitely broke him in a lot of ways. Especially since it's like a situation that he can't fix. At least for now he can't. Because his wife basically is like, oh, apparently I have an extremely high affinity for a special ability, but my body can't take it, so my body's just falling apart and breaking down. Like, how fair is that? Because he's like, most diseases, sure, we can cure that, but this, what the fuck? It's almost like being punished by, well, it's almost literally being punished by God for practically no reason. And it's with something you can't even fix or have a way of mitigating. He's gonna... Yeah. And Red is definitely helping with that research, because she can pretty much tell you if it's like close to the real thing or something like that. She doesn't know what the research is for, but if she's being used to make it as perfect as possible, then there you go. And then it's a matter of like preserving the mind and stuff, and that's even assuming that Max buried his wife to begin with. Like, for all we know, he probably has her body preserved somewhere in order to have this kind of research. And like the time limit for the clones could have just been, you know, a defect where they do fall apart after 2 hours. And the Doctor is just telling customers, like, you know, oh, that's a safety feature, when it's really just a defect. And that could be like something that the Doctor has already fixed but isn't using at the bar, or it's something she's trying to figure out at the bar, and then we'll keep it only at the bar and then save the better results for, you know, richer people who are losing loved ones or something like that. Because obviously you would save the good shit for someone who can pay for it. Or she could be even more evil person and already knows how to fix the problem, but is just dragging it out. That would probably get her killed, though, if Max ever found out that she did something like that. So, less likely that she would do that, but definitely a possibility. Yeah, he would probably figure that out pretty easily. Like, if he was, like, super deep into the research and he was actually understanding the progress and stuff like that, pretty sure he would know he's being fucked with. Which the doctor would definitely not want to go on his bad side. But yeah, it's more likely that even if cloning was perfected, it's likely that it'd be strictly a rich person's thing. And then it'd be also a matter of keeping certain things under wraps. And then you have the whole modified community thing, because those are people that basically end up becoming cyborgs. So if you can figure out how to preserve the brain when you do that, then you can almost cheat death to a degree. Because the whole point of a cyborg is that there's always something organic. And then if you have Marcy Amber's situation where her mind is inside of a robot body, then you have to deal with compatibility stuff so that your person doesn't go insane. So there's that. Yeah, exactly. Like Max would it would get to the point where Max would be able to understand the doctor's research, and he would almost be on par with how smart she is. So he would definitely notice if she was fucking with him. And she's smart enough to understand that, so she ain't gonna chance something like that. If it was like any other business person, minus maybe a small handful of characters, she would probably pull that off on them, but not with Max. Max, she's like, oh, I'm not dealing with that. It's like I'll do the research because she's like, she is interested in trying to actually figure that out, but she's definitely not gonna waste his money. And if she does, she better hope she has a perfect clone of herself, because she ain't gonna be breathing much longer if she did that. I could do that type of story. I would just have to plan it out, but at the moment, he's not the focus. So it'd probably have to be like a side comic to see him change over the years, both before and after his wife's passing. How he just becomes more and more obsessed with trying to figure. Well, like most of the obsession comes with him trying to prevent her from dying, and then that's when she like has her personal conversations with her children, including Blake, and then talks to him, who spends his last moment. He's the one that spends the her last moments with, and so he's the one that has to watch her die. And then that's when he's sitting there, contemplating, do I keep my promise and trying to move on? Which he does put in the effort, but you can definitely see him become a lot more heartless because of it. Or is he going to attempt to bring her back in some way? And even if he succeeds in bringing her back, whether it be like with her memories or not, is it going to be the same? Like, is it disrespectful for him to bring her back and she gets to live while a bunch of less like more impoverished people don't get to, and how unfair that would be? But then his argument to her would be like, it was unfair for her to die in the first place. But there can be a back and forth with that, and that could cause its own issues with her if she retained her memories. And then even if she did retain her memories, if you did have this argument, then there's the possibility of him just erasing memories that aren't going to be helpful, like the conversation of her living and stuff like that. What if he erased the memory of her even being ill? And then there's that situation. And then of course there's the people who knew her in life, so if they're aware that she died, is he going to keep them quiet, or is everyone just going to be in on it, type of thing? Like, there's a whole freaking route to go. something canon event. Exactly. Like, there's so many paths I could go with ideas like this. That's why it's so hard to only pick one. And granted, I can do alternate timelines and stuff like that, which isn't a problem. But like, if you want to keep it as the most legit one, then that's the one you have to figure out. All right, is this the story I want to go with? And that's what makes it difficult. There's all these ideas and they're all good, but I can only pick one. It's like you can understand why DC, Marvel, and whatever other comic companies have like different versions of the same character, because they have so many ideas that it's like we can't always constantly make a new character for every idea, but you kind of have to, unless you plan on doing alternate universes. That's why you have like Ultimate Spider-Man and Spectacular Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man and so on and so forth. I mean, hell, even the movie versions of Spider-Man are kind of a clear example of here's a bunch of different ideas, some similar, some not, and then it's just a matter of either going with it or starting a different idea and going with that for a while. Let's make this more smooth. But I do like how they managed to put them together when they did the multiverse thing. Seems a little bit too together. Space out segments. Still too close. This way. Unless I want to go really crazy and go across the very line of it. No, let's try. Use a line tool for it. Better to see if I like it than to not try. I kind of want Joanne's face to look a little bit more pissed. Like she's prepared, but she's still like not happy after hearing this information. So, you know, when you just get that stern look on your face after somebody's pissed you off and you're still trying to go through your day, type of thing. I would say Red would likely be concerned at first because it's not like she's not going to notice something different. And then, assuming Joanne tells her the full story of why she's going through it and all that, I could see Red just having respect for her, just going like, yeah, that sounds right. It's like life gave you a shitty hand, and you're trying to take it, and you're trying to make it unshitty. You use what you got. And then I guess like the only real advice she could tell her is just, you know, don't let it break you, or don't let it consume you, or don't let it, like, you know, don't lose sight of the goal. But then she'll probably also notice Joanne's attitude or personality shift over time, and then she'll probably have some concern, but she probably won't try to fuck with her after a certain point. She'll probably just be like, nope, I'm out, or like, well, this is what's happening. As long as she doesn't piss off Joanne, and there's gonna be no problems here. Although, after... No, because you can still... There's still ways to deal with Red if she became a problem. After hearing her backstory. I can do the bed behind Joanne later. Okay. I am going to copy that so it'll make my life easier. Do whatever it is I have to do. Might have to adjust this though. Yeah, definitely gonna have to do this place. Let's see what I can get away with. But yeah, as I said, everything I'm saying is not 100% set in stone. I might change my mind or adjust the idea and stuff like that. But again, it's good to always chat and stuff, because that way it kind of smooths out the idea more. Because like some of this stuff I probably didn't even consider until I started gathering. But yeah, like that's like things you gotta think about if you're gonna like put something like clones into your world. You're like, all right, clones are in your world. How do you manage this ethically? Because like once you add something like that in, depending on the characters or depending on your world and stuff like that, you have to explain why a clone would not just solve a lot of problems. And so if you put on many restrictions, then it kind of answers that question. Yeah, I was thinking of doing double characters for that. Just have to figure out how to make that work well. Because I guess I would just have to make the drives look like they're separate, but then explain that the pictures are joint. So you'll have, so like on one end you'll have like Joanne's path of expansion, and then on the other half you'll have Red's side, and then put them together in the end, so that way you have like an actual story sequence. Because I was originally gonna do that with Queen Bee and Luna from Hell of a Boss, but I decided to go with Chica just to make things easy on me for a while. So I might do a joint idea, I just don't know when. So yeah, like their picture 0 will be both of them together, and then branch off from there, and then put them together as a final. So like if both of them get funded, then I'll put them together. Just kind of filling in some bullets here. There's a lot that's going to change with this panel. I'm just using this as a base. Speaking of which, I got everything I needed on her side, right? Looks like it's... Alright. Oh yeah, there will be an update for page 13, because I realized that the pattern on Red's right arm was wrong. The way I did it. So there's going to be a fix for that. And I still need to fix the sleeve that's on Emerald for one of the earlier pages. I think it was page 14. So yeah, I'll let you know. I'll let you guys know when I do that. I fixed Red's arm, I just haven't uploaded it. But I still need to do Emerald's page. Yeah, like each if I were to do like the double thing, whether it be like Red and Joanne or Luna and Queen Bee, they both be like shit talking to each other the whole time. So like, like if I was having their pictures of them alone, like only one of them is gaining, could have one of them shit talking, go like, oh look who's being the favorite right now, getting bigger and all that. Or I can make it like, you know, one's tricking the other into getting fatter or something like whatever the case may be. And then if it's together, can have them both getting bigger, and then them both shit talking each other. Where one could look maybe just slightly smaller than the other, and so they're being like, looks like you're slowing down. He's like, shut up, I'm getting my second one, and then go on from there. Like whatever makes it fun. Okay, so here's the part I have to do along with. This is okay. See a lot of racing with this one. Some of these lines are not things. A good chunk of them. Hello, Jet. I am well, just working on this. It's just her, like the panel where she's being introduced, like with her name in the air. The pattern on her right arm is off. If you look at her normal artwork, you'll see that the white fur is going in a particular direction. And with the way it is currently, it's pointing outside rather than inside. Like, I already fixed it, which honestly didn't take me long to do at all, surprisingly. But I just haven't uploaded the fix yet. Yeah, that was because I remember myself fiddling around with that and just for some reason not wrapping my head around that it should be facing inward, and I ended up doing it outward. And then when I was working on this page, I noticed what I did wrong and went and fixed it. But yeah, I have my moments. It's all wrong! Just flip a table. Yeah, she has interesting fur. Did I have to make her this complicated compared to her original artwork? Or like her 2006 artwork? Probably not, but I definitely gave her a huge glow up since then. Now she's no longer just referencing Red Riding Hood, now she's a whole other thing. She's definitely thicker than she used to be. That's for damn sure. And I'm just erasing what I don't need. I'll have to adjust the line thickness after I get everything figured out. Becky drunk. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to work on that yet. I do want to do it though. Like I'll probably have her in a whole different pose compared to the nun version. The nun version I just copied the default and then just drew over it. But I might give her a different position if I go about it the other way. This is kind of the plan. Gotta get all that air out of her. That way Tim passes out faster. And have a little bit of Joanne's thoughts during this time. Maybe not this page, but definitely after she belches. Trying to think the position of this. Would it be like that? Trying to see, envision this right. No, I think it'd be fine. I think it could probably go either or. He says as he can just look at his bed and push it down and find out. These two would kind of be joint, but I guess it doesn't matter. Well, when I show the videos of when she eats Tim, there's gonna be a moment where it shows her breaking off his arms. As she's like taunting him. Or whatever she's doing. And then I do want them to comment where it's like, huh, it seemed right here she might have been, he might have been too big for her, but then she just powers on through because she's so pissed off and drugged to really care about her safety at that particular moment in time. So she could have hurt herself severely. Especially since she's never done this sort of thing before. So she technically could have choked, she could have ruptured her stomach. Which was why she was kind of curled up, kind of just holding him in. She could have damaged her jaw. There's a lot of things that could happen. But she was so out of it that she didn't notice the danger. Which is why trying to do it willingly is going to be a difficult task for her. Now that she's not drugged, and that's also what makes her think that she needs to take some black love in order to do it, because she needs to she thinks she just needs to what's the word I'm looking for, kind of like, the word relaxed or mellow out is coming to mind, but I don't think that's the word I'm looking for. She's just trying to like be less anxious about it. And she only takes a little bit of black love, not like the full dose. Because I want her to steal whatever black love pills that Tim has. And then I might, if I do go through with that idea, I might show a scene where she runs out of the pills and she starts freaking the fuck out, thinking that she needs them. And then, I don't know, because she's made a decent amount of money by that point, she'll probably pay to get them illegally. Yeah. There we go, microdosing, yeah. So yeah, she's definitely doing stuff to her body that she wouldn't normally do if it wasn't for, one, making money, and two, to raise up her reputation that she ends up getting. And like they do try to add in the whole acting thing that she wants to do, so that way she's more comfortable with it. And then you'll slowly see that kind of devolve as she just becomes more and more into the eating part of the filming. It's like, oh, we had this whole script, and she's like, your script was shit. I decided to just make it interesting. Like she might freestyle or something. Maybe Plum should overdose on Viagra. Viagra wouldn't even do anything for her. Not unless she wants it to. But even then, it's like nothing different than what she could already do. It's kind of like Jam. Jam technically can't get drunk unless she allows it. Like, that's kind of their main thing, is like, whatever effects of food and drink or drugs or whatever for the Creamfield cast, none of it actually affects them unless they wanted to. Jam, on the other hand, Jam specifically, she's like oblivious to a lot of things because she doesn't act out of self-pleasure. She just does her job. And so it's the others that kind of get her to indulge and get her to try to have fun, because she just doesn't do that normally. It's almost like the episode of Milo Pony where they're trying to show Luna how to have fun, and she's like, "Fun? What is fun?" Yeah, Plum's whole gimmick is hyper, so she can make herself fucking massive. Because her whole gimmick is hyper and conflation. Whereas Dragon Fruit, he also has he has a big dick naturally, but his whole gimmick is harem and what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like breeding. Like he helps or women who want to have kids and their husbands aren't 100% helping. Although his method of making that happen is a little off, and he doesn't exactly like it, but he's able to do it. So, like, say a wife and husband are having trouble having kids or whatever, all Dragon Fruit would have to do is ingest the guy's sperm or semen or whatever, and he'll be able to make sperm that is genetically identical to the man, and then he can just knock up the woman. Like, that's Dragon Fruit's thing. But he also has a harem, so he has a bunch of women who just want to get knocked out by him. Whereas Plum, she just wants to stuff them until they're huge and sloshy, full of cum. So that's their difference between those two. And then you have Pineapple, who tricks people into making it look like she got knocked up for fun. There we go, that's what I was looking for. I want it from the front, I want it from the side. I think the side would be better. Because that way it'll work with the last panel. Show that she's subconsciously trying to hold back the burp. Why is she bouncing around? Could be just be picking up something that I'm doing, like drawing on the tablet. I don't know how sensitive the mic is. Want this a little bit more curved. Oh, I did not know there was a adjustment thingy back here. Interesting. Huh. I don't know how it works, but okay. Anyway, I was like, maybe I should hold on to the monitor. That way, my left arm is not just laying here on my lap. But apparently, there's a touch thing behind there. Okay, now I've learned something. I have not used that thing once until now. I just have like a bunch of options on my monitor that I just have yet to touch because I haven't programmed any of them. Which in hindsight might be useful if I have them, but it's just easier to use hotkeys for me. You're probably gonna see that quite often throughout various stories. If I do go into other gassy themes or whatever, it'd have to be very specific. But most likely it wouldn't happen because I'm just not into that stuff. So unless it's like a commission or something, I'm most likely not going to draw it. It's just not for me. Like I don't dislike some of the. I mean, it kind of depends on the art, honestly, but a lot of the times it's just kind of like, just not for me. I just don't find it very interesting. Or even fun, honestly. It just seems like, I don't know. It's really hard for me to explain why I don't like it. It's just more like it feels like a cheap joke or like just an unnecessary thing. It's kind of like when you're watching like a show or even like a reaction and like the person just kind of brings up a fart joke or whatever for no reason and has like no real context other than like, oh look, there's smoke. Like, you know, like say somebody's reacting to an anime and they see the character dash or something and they see like a cloud from when they dashed, then that's when the reactor or even like the show itself or whatever will just make a comment that's like, oh look, it looked like a fart cloud, and just in the back of your mind you're just like, was that even a necessary comment? It's like, it wasn't funny, it came out of nowhere, and it was just there. So that's kind of my mentality around it. It's just a boring quip or a boring theme. Like, it's funny with joking characters, like characters that are made for that kind of thing, like comedy and all that, like, you know, like Ren and Stimpy and all that. But coming out of nowhere in like a more serious story or show or whatever is just kind of like, eh. It's like the same thought I have when the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles movie had Michelangelo fart. It was like, what was the point of that? It just comes out of nowhere. It's there. It doesn't make the situation funny. And then they do the same thing with the Sonic movies. It was just kind of like, why? But that's just me. Okay, this is the part where it gets difficult figuring out how her neck is gonna be. Guess it'd be easier if I drew her neck normal first and then figured it out. Okay, so she's sitting in that position. Yeah, that's why I like the whole belching thing. It makes it more. It just feels more satisfying. It's like you saw the character go through all this. They indulge themselves. They stuff themselves silly, whatever, and they just let it out as a nice, satisfying belch. That's basically how I view it. If it's like the other way, then it's, I don't know, it feels not as fun. Feels less. It feels lesser to me in some way. That's hard to explain. Yeah, because it's kind of like you have the we're being politely is more like, okay, you like, you know, you indulge yourself, but you're like, you know, being reserved. You're trying to, like, you know, not be rude or whatever, but you're showing that you had a good time. But then just like letting it all out, it's like more of like you definitely indulge, you enjoyed yourself, you're satisfied, you can relax, you're around company that are just like, you know, it's like a let your hair down to show that you're definitely happy, or you definitely enjoyed the moment. Yeah. I guess if I were to do like a character farting or whatever, they would have to be in the slob category to make it worth it for me. Because I think I just view it as a more negative trait, and that's why I don't do it for a standard character who's like, you know, stuffing themselves silly. If it's like for a more asshole-ish character, then it makes more sense to do it with them. So I think that's where the line is for me. So like, it would be the difference between Marcy and Pumpkin Pie, because Pumpkin Pie is a slob, so I could see her doing that more. Would she do it? I don't know, but I could definitely. It would definitely make more sense if I had her do it, and I think that's where my line is. Yeah, and then obviously, and then there's like the whole scat meme where I'm just like, look, you're gonna have to really get me in a mood to want to draw all that. And again, most of the themes that I use for characters or that I use are character specific, so it's not gonna apply to everybody. That's why when I had Marcy use the restroom in the comic, there was like no extension of that. It was just, okay, she need to use the restroom, and that's that. Like, you don't see her doing the action. But again, this is character specific, so I might use it for. So if I did draw that stuff, it would be for someone else that makes sense to use. But yeah, I could see myself drawing it not necessarily out of enjoyment, but out of the context and necessity of the character. So if it fits the character, then sure. If not, then I'm likely not going to draw it. Yeah, it would just have to be a character that fits the theme. I'm not just gonna like do it for the sake of doing it. Like, for example, Jam sitting on somebody, I'm not gonna have Jam do that, because one, it wouldn't fit the character at all, and two, it's just not something she would do normally. So now I can see. Trying to smooth it out a bit. But yeah, it's definitely an acquired taste, or like something I'd have to really warm up to. Whether it be farting or scat or whatever other themes that I'm not into necessarily. But I think if I have like a fun enough character or something, then I'll probably be more willing. Or like if the setup is good enough. But who knows? I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Or if I get there. Let's see this, like, because it's coiled. Your curve of it, so stop here. Just to show that she has a lot of gas coming out. Coaster 14. I'll have to look them up. I don't think I've heard of that person. I'll put it up here just so I don't forget. I think I have them on current video right here. So yeah, I'll have to check them out. Yeah, like I think I just need like better context rather than just a single pic of them doing it, and it's just like nonsense, or not even a single pic, but just like a sequence of them. It's like nonsense. Because like the stuff I've come across while looking at like random art and all that would just be like, okay, here's a character shitting, and then like the shit's everywhere. It's just like nonsensical, and then I don't know, like maybe a character is trying to eat it or some shit. I'm just like, eh. Like, I'm not discounting the art, but I just don't think the theme works a lot of the time. And again, that could be just me, it's just not clicking for me at the moment. Is OC Jessica a gassy skunk? Maybe? I don't think I've seen too many skunk characters, honestly. Or at least none that I remember. I see her, but I don't think I've seen this character before. I see Drip Dry, but that's Horo's character. Yeah, I don't think I've seen this person's work by the looks of it. Or if I have, it might have been brief in some way. Am I following them at all? No, I'm not. Sometimes it'll be a case where I'm following an artist that I thought that I wasn't following, and I'm like, oh shit, I must have followed them a long ass time ago. trying to hold back that she naturally would, but Red's gonna tell her to, like, bitch, let it out. Now this part's gonna be a bitch. Because I need the right angle for this, because she's a snake. I think I have some reference for this. Wait for my drone to wake up. Oops, sorry. Come on, wake up. Q. Okay. So this is why you have a section for this shit. So if you ever need to draw it, you just know where to find it. There we go. That should be good enough. And the hard part is just getting the right angle for this. And I'll try. I'll have to do adjustments over time. Oh yeah, I better save my shit just in case. I'll have to put that as a points thing, where it's like, save, bitch. Listen to some Bomberman, because probably not gonna have much more after this. Get some redial. Stretch. Big stretch. That felt good. Okay. Based on reference, it's probably going to be a little bit more to the side. Just a little bigger. Yeah, it'll be a while, but I definitely gonna show Red and Joanne going to the bar, the Vor bar, and everything that happens there. Damn, that was short. Should get a longer version of that. Redial. Extended, here we go. Okay, now here's the part that's going to be a pain in the ass. So your eye is right there. Your nose isn't, your mouth isn't that big. And even though the reference is more for a dragon, I can adjust over time. So I'm just gonna go for it. Just tweak it once I have it roughed out. The problem I've done with Joanne is that occasionally I have shifted her nose based on certain positions, and that's kind of going to bite me in the ass. But this is how we're doing it. Sometimes I've given her a nose like Skylar's, and then other times I've made it more rounded. I want to take you to a war bar. Exactly. It's like Red rolling up in her car and being like, "Get in the car, loser. We're going to a war bar." Okay, I'm just gonna draw it, and then we'll figure it out once I wrap it out. Because obviously, this is gonna have to change. Because her eye is definitely not working for this, and that's making me not want to have to do that. This feels weird from that position. Okay. It's hard to go about this because I don't normally draw her mouth in this position. Like, this is just as hard as when I drew her mouth open for when she was about to eat Tim. It was such a pain in the ass to get that right. Certain details. I've only drawn her open mouth like 2 times. And one of them was like, what, 6 years ago, if not longer? No, it couldn't. No, what was it, 6 years ago? Shit. When did I draw that picture? Let me find it, because that's gonna get to me. Now I gotta know this answer. And this is like assuming the date is even correct to begin with. Yeah, this pic. When the hell did I draw this? Yeah, it was 6 years ago. Shit. And that one wasn't even good. That one looked horrible. At least to me it was. And then the recent one with Tim. That was from like a very specific way, so you didn't have to see all of her details. Luckily, this one's more on the side, so there's more for me to work with, but still. Like, if I'm not always drawing it, then it's more harder to remember how I even did it. The April Fool's thing? No, it was a colored pic of her open mouth. The April Fool's thing, I didn't even show her mouth open, I just show her eating somebody. Mouth a little bit wider. Was that even an April, or was that even a commission? Now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, that was a commission that someone had me do, just drawing her mouth open. So it wasn't even like on my mind to do. At least not then. Because I had no reason to. You don't remember? Okay, let me get the link. Copy. There you go. Yeah, it's a 6-year-old pic of her with her mouth open. And that was like mildly the reference that I was using for when I was doing the pic where the page when she eats Tim, but obviously there are big differences between then and now. Yeah, because I don't show Joanne with a lot of teeth, although snakes technically have a lot of teeth, or at least more noticeable teeth. I'll have to tweak the details of her mouth once I figure everything else out. Yeah, this is at an angle. This one's more turned towards the camera, so you don't see the other eye. Again, I'm just gonna keep going until I get closer to what I want and tweak over time. See, the problem is I don't draw snake characters too often that do stuff like this. So, just experience at this point. I can't believe that page is 6 years old. Or that picture. What the hell was I doing back then? Shit. You can see the artwork that's around it. Posted buckle. He's making cards. What was after that? Oh, that was when Creamfield was just coming out. Damn. Yeah, that's when I teased the characters and then I put up the first page. Damn. Old ass page. Or old ass pic at that point. There's gonna be so much tweaking to this to make it look good. I'll figure it out once I get there. Okay. showing me more. I think once I shake everything out, I think, well, definitely going to tweak it. Because I know this is not doing it for me. Black Circus Discord didn't exist, yeah. When did we start the Discord? Wasn't that like 2018, 2019 or something? I honestly don't remember. It had to have been 2019 or something like that, because I think that's when, around the time when my drive crashed, and I had to back everything up. Or didn't that happen in 2017? No, it didn't happen in 17. No, because 17 would be when Cream Coat became a thing. Yeah, so that didn't happen then, so it had to have been like 2019 or something. I could be wrong, it could have been 2017. I know it was like Halloween, because that's when I had to run out and go grab a drive. So that might have been 2017. No, because I wasn't drawing Greenfield on my tablet back then. Or in this position back then. So it had to have been 19 or something. I don't know anymore. March 7th, 2018, damn. Jesus. Yeah, we've come quite a ways, haven't we? I'm glad you're on top of it, shit. I'm barely on top of my own anniversary, shit. I gotta still do something for 12 Gates. Whether it be something big or something small, I still gotta do something. Let's have it more tight. So that way it looks like you stretch the mouth. Well, technically she can stretch it further than this, but they're showing this like her default mouth when she's not forcing it by eating somebody. It's looking a little better. Still needs work. Really? That's a hell of a start for the Discord. Is like, okay, we got a new Discord. Here's Jam's ass. And Plum's probably like, amen. Let's try this song. Oh yeah, this is a good song. Welcome, Astro Malay, Astro Malaysia fans, Malaysia fans. I think I'm getting that right. Astro Malaysia fans, 2003. Drawing a Sonic fan comic. No, I am not, but I definitely do like Sonic. I had a fan comic. Stopped working on that in favor of my own stuff. Maybe someday I'll venture back into it, as well as a side comic that I was doing, and then stopped working on that too, in favor of my own stuff. Maybe someday. Yeah. Kinda might have to settle for this. I'm not sure how much I can do with it. It's not horrible. Maybe we can win. Oh, SpongeBob's Pocket Line. That'd be a fun joke to have this shake, to have a screenshot of this panel shaking with the SpongeBob horn. I think this is about as far as I can push this. I just need the details of it. Yeah, this is definitely something I'll have to practice more. Hopefully, I do enough shots in the comic to kind of get me used to this. Could even make a comment from other snake characters going like, why do you have a uvula? She's like, I don't know, I just do. Further showing that not all of my characters have the same designs throughout all the species. Whatever bullshit consistency I'm trying to spew. The gene pool in this world is really ridiculous. It's almost like when you watch Bad Guys and you see Snake with normal teeth, but then it goes back to him having fangs. Bad Guys is definitely a series that I can see having a show. Should be fine, I guess. Still iffy, but just have to keep learning as I do it over and over. And I could have went another route by like having her head at a lower angle or something. Like I could have just had her head just doing like this. Doing like that. Mouth open. Just let it burp like that. Like I could have did something like that if I wanted to, but I really wanted the mouth shot. Oops, that is not the button I wanted to press. Save my shit. Thank you. It's a good one. Ah, yes, Blue Resort. One of the best Bomberman themes. Yeah, this is fine. Okay. I'm pretty satisfied with this. Not the best, but it's not horrible either. Might try to tweak a few things, but other than that, I think I'm good with it. Let me just look at the reference I used for her mouth. Yeah, I just have her tongue reserved inside because she's just letting it off. Unless I want it flopping. I think I'll save like a flopping tail or tongue when she's burping for when she's like more indulged in it. Other than her go looking a little off center. Let me see. Hold on, let me grab another song. A little off center. Yeah, it is a little bit off, isn't it? Probably should be more like this. Because it's usually starting at the back of her mouth. And this part's probably a little bit lower. I'm definitely turning this panel into a card in the future. Whenever I start making Vor-based cards. Just call this one like Satisfying Belch or something. And then, I don't know, maybe let characters that use food cards use this card too. So like, let's just say Marcy has like 6 food cards attached and she can use this card for whatever effects it may have. This pretty much just depends on where I put the text for the belching. So yeah, I think once I have Joanne do this more often, maybe she'll have her tongue hang out when she does it in the future. This one I want her to be a little bit more reserved on wanting to do it. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop for now. Probably give myself something to drink, but I'm gonna continue on and color this, and try to get it done by morning. But yeah, this was fun. This is the page I've been wanting to work on, where she has to burp out all that air. But yeah, thank you everybody for coming. I'm gonna try to start streaming on like Monday if I can. I know I have to do something, but I'm pretty sure I should be fine at night. But yeah, I'm gonna try to stream on Monday. But yeah, I will continue working on this tonight, and I will post it as soon as it's ready. Thank you everybody for coming, and I will see you guys hopefully Monday. Alright, you guys take care. Oh yeah, and also, I'm gonna, try to make more pages between now and Monday and all that, because I'm trying to speed up Patreon side a bit more. But I will work on the Patreon reward stuff too. So yeah, I will see you guys next week. Alright, take care. Bye-bye.